Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fired Up Live. I'm your host, Claudia Hoyser, and it's so great to be back with you tonight. We've been so lucky to have some incredible guests on this show, and here we are, episode number 7, with another incredible storyteller and artist, and I'm so excited to talk with him tonight, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But as you know, each episode is one big live concert and giveaway party, so don't forget to comment below tonight because you have a chance to win some awesome prizes. I'm going to do a song for you, and then I'm going to announce the winners from last episode. Very exciting stuff going on. Here is a version of my last single that I've never played by myself, and I hope you enjoy this acoustic, stripped down version. Maybe for some of you who didn't know what I was saying before, you might get the full lyric in this one, in this version. Here's Catch Me a Winner.
Just like that, nitty-gritty told me down by the cold creek. It don't matter if your poles are dusty. Beer in the tackle box, out on the flat rock, baiting that hook with only the right look. Lure in the sunshine, ripples in the sweet tide. Papa's going out of sight, even if it takes all night. Ooh, I'm gonna catch me a winner, 'cause I kinda like 'em bigger, and I don't mind sitting here, waiting here, working in the sunshine, casting out a flat line. Ain't no beginner, got my one lucky spinner, and I keep on sitting here, waiting here. Ooh, I just got a strike. Come on, take a big bite, yeah. Catch me a winner. Now it don't gotta be some kind of party. Wappa papa jigging and the swimming right to me. Who's that bass catching son of a gun? Gonna catch me a winner before the day is done. Lure in the sunshine, ripples in the sweet tide. Papa's going out of sight, even if it takes all night. Ooh, I'm gonna catch me a winner, 'cause I kinda like 'em bigger, and I don't mind sitting here, waiting here, working in the sunshine, casting out a flat line. Ain't no beginner, got my one lucky spinner, and I keep on sitting here, waiting here. Ooh, I just got a strike. Come on, take a big bite, yeah. Catch me a winner. See him looking at me. Don't you wanna bite? This is sink or swim now, yeah, yeah, Gonna hook you just right. Gonna catch me a winner, 'cause I kinda like 'em bigger, and I don't mind sitting here, waiting here, working in the sunshine, casting out a flat line. Ain't no beginner, got my one lucky spinner, and I keep on sitting here, waiting here. Ooh, I just got a strike. Ooh, I just got a strike. Ooh, I just got a strike. Come on, take a big bite, yeah.
That was my last single I put out there for country radio, and it is such a fun song. You got to go check it out on Spotify and Apple Music, all that good stuff. Maybe call into your local radio station, tell them you want to hear it. But that's my little stripped down version of it. So let me know what you think in the comments of this video. I want to see questions down there, all the comments you want, as long as they're nice. I mean, I guess you could throw some shade too, but I probably won't answer you. It's so good to be with the FIREDISC Nation tonight. We had some very lucky winners from our last episode that I want to give a big shout out to. Hopefully you're getting ready to cook on your FIREDISC cooker and learn some new recipes. There's this awesome FIREDISC group where everybody shares what they're making almost every single day. There's countless posts of the most amazing meals. So the winner of the FIREDISC cooker, Debbie Callahan, you can go check that out and learn all these new things to make on your new FIREDISC cooker. Congratulations. The FIREDISC prize pack went to Russ Deal. You're going to looks so good in all that FIREDISC swag. And the Hoyser Country Blend prize pack went to Raina Durham. So congratulations, everybody. It's really cool to be able to share some of this Hoyser Country gear, the coffee, FIREDISC, a Nation swag packs, and cookers with you guys. So let's get to it. I think, I'm going to put this guitar down carefully. There we go. I'm going to throw these bad boys in, and I think our guest is ready to join us. So give me 1 second here. Throwing my old school phones today. We're here at GFI Studios, and we've been sheltering in place and keeping it very fresh here. All right, you guys, are you ready? Tonight's Fired Up Live guest achieved his first chart success at age 23. Since then, he went on to have 18 more Billboard Top 40 hits, and he's never stopped working so hard in the music business. With 7 albums out and a new one on the way, an avid military supporter, and a real down-to-earth family man with his wife Kelly and 2 daughters, I'd like to welcome dedicated parent, philanthropist, outdoorsman, jokester, hitmaker, and Grand Ole Opry member, Mark Wills.
How are you?
Hey, Mark. How's it going?
Well, it's good. I'm in the same place that I feel like I have been for about 9 months.
Me
Kind of hanging
too.
out here at the house. Yeah, it's.
Well, you look comfortable. You look like you're having a good time at home.
Oh, listen, here's the deal. If I'm sitting at the house, this is what you get. I told some friends of mine the other day, we were doing something. They were like, "Hey, can you shoot me this video?" And I said, "Sure," but you have to understand that I've not put on stage clothes in almost 9 months, and I'm not going to start today. I'm hanging at the house. I'm not starting now. I'm hanging at the house and just having a good time. So it's good. It's good to be with you, though, Claudia. How are you?
It's great to be with you too. It feels like I'm actually, doing something. I'm at the studio every day. Thank goodness. It's not far from home for me, so I get to be here working all the time. But I do feel a little ridiculous sometimes going in the bathroom and putting on my makeup and doing my hair when I'm really just coming back to the same place.
Well, that's why you need to set your studio up in the house. That's what I've done. I mean, it's been the greatest thing. Aside from the fact of not working, not traveling or doing anything like that, it's been the greatest thing because I turned my basement sort of here. We call it the bunker. We turned the bunker into our own little studio, and so we put the big screens up in front of us to where when the camera, I can look at everybody and I can, talk and play requests and all that kind of stuff. So it's, I think it's allowed me to kind of get more lazy than I already was because.
Oh, come on. You are not lazy. Judging by the bio that I just had to mouthful out, I know you're not lazy.
Well, I'll put it this way. It's allowed me to become more comfortable in my sweatpants and sweatshirts and ball caps, doing these type of things. But it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. If one thing 2020 has been good for, it's that kind of thing. Just getting to be a little bit more comfortable, but also we're definitely missing the road and all that fun stuff. But you did just get to play a couple shows. You were out in Branson.
I did. We played, we played 5 shows in Branson with my friend Rhonda Vincent. And,
Nice.
And then I came home from that and I played the Grand Ole Opry this past Saturday. I thought I might end up missing that. But I was able to go do that. And so we've just been, we've been plugging along. I mean, it's been like we said a minute ago, it's been a weird year. Mm-hmm. But it's allowed me to really spend more time with Kelly. We just married off our oldest daughter.
Congratulations!
Mally got married. Thank you.
Wow.
Mally got married. I guess it was right at 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
other than that, I mean, I've just basically got to be a dad this year, and that's been probably the greatest thing. Aside from getting to travel and play music, being able to be at home and really, sort of reconnect with the family
That's amazing.
these last few months have been pretty awesome.
That's awesome. It's definitely been good for family time. Congratulations to your daughter. She got to pull off the wedding, during these crazy times.
It was we had originally scheduled it for this past March. And of course everything went sideways during that time, and so they rescheduled it for November, which it made it kind of sweet because her anniversary is November 29th. Mine and Kelly's anniversary is November 30th, and my mom and dad's anniversary is December 1st.
Oh
So
my
it's
gosh.
just,
It was meant to be.
3 days.
It was meant
Yep.
to be. That's amazing. So you mentioned your wife and your daughters. I know you talk about them all the time. Did you happen to raise any musicians yourself? Are they into the music at all?
My youngest
Yeah.
is a great little singer. She is very folky.
Love
She
it.
loves like Sarah Bareilles, and sort of that style of music. But she also loves Loretta Lynn. She loves Conway. She loves all of what we consider to be the classic country. She loves
Yeah.
that kind of music. So she kind of listens to everything, and plays guitar,
That's
plays
awesome.
mandolin, plays a little bit of banjo and ukulele and stuff like that, and plays piano. So
Wow. Does she put her
kind of a
stuff
jack of all
out
trades.
there? Everyone's going to have to go check out your daughter.
Not yet.
Not yet.
She's still a senior in high school, so she's got a full plate.
Mm-hmm.
She's a full-time student. She's also enrolled in college. She also has 2 jobs, so she's pretty busy. But she has sang on the Opry with me a couple of times, done some cool stuff like that.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, speaking of the Opry, and since you're wearing it loud and proud tonight, which I
Yeah, I
love,
guess that. I'm sorry.
that's so cool. You were just there this past weekend. I did a show. I'm so glad they've been able to keep the shows going, and they're doing a lot with Circle TV now and broadcasting a bunch of shows. We've been able to catch some here. So that's awesome. How did the show go?
Went great. With the exception that we lost Charlie Pride that
Yeah.
afternoon or that morning. And being an Opry member, we have lost quite a few Opry members this year. I mean, we lost Jimmy Capps, who had played guitar in the band at the Opry for almost 62 years.
Oh my gosh.
We lost Joe Diffie. We lost Jan Howard. And then of course we lost Kenny Rogers. We lost John Prine. We lost Mac Davis. I mean, we've lost so many greats from the music industry this year that it was just, it was kind of one of those. It was a blow to be there that day and know that you lost another friend. So
Mm-hmm.
myself and Chris Young, and I know that there was a couple of us. Dennis Quaid made his Opry debut,
I
and
saw
he
that.
sent a song out. Yeah, he sent a song out to Charlie.
Oh.
I did a song for Charlie, which had a special meaning for me. And then Chris Young did one, and I believe somebody else did one, but I'm losing my brain as to who it was.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I know so many incredible artists, and they definitely left their mark, but they're going to be so missed.
Yes.
And I do a classic country cover once a week. We call it Hoyser Country Monday. And
Right.
we're always looking back through, and some of these artists, I've really studied up on over the past couple of years. And then to see them go this year, it's really heartbreaking. But
Yeah.
that's great that you were able to honor them at the show.
I was going to tell you the reason I chose to do Is Anybody Going to San Antone, and the reason that I sang that song was because a guy that wrote a lot of hits for me back in the beginning of my career. Actually, he wrote a couple of 2 or 3 of the things that are on this new record. But Tony Martin, his dad, Glenn Martin, wrote or co-wrote Is Anybody Going to San Antone, And I remember when I first started going to Nashville back in like 93, 92, 93, 94, something like that. We sat in Glenn's office one day at this little house that he had, and he was telling us the story about when they wrote "Is Anybody Going to San Antone?" The original words were "Is anybody going to San Antone or Fargo, North Dakota?" And Charlie Pride, I guess his sister lived in Phoenix, Arizona, and they always did a family trip every year to Phoenix, and he wanted to put Phoenix, Arizona in there.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
so that's just kind of a little trivia, about how songs are written and how we sing them. And if you never knew that information, you would have never known.
That's amazing. That's so cool. Just to be able to have that little backstory insight that, people are listening to it, singing it all the time. They have no clue. Oh my gosh. Yep. So what is it like knowing that after all this time, you being a Grand Ole Opry member now with all of these greats, thinking back to your first performance at the Opry? Yeah. What are the things that you remember the most about that? And then comparing it to now where you're just going in, just comfortable as ever. You've done it a bunch of times. And how has it changed? And what do you remember most from that first time?
I don't remember hardly anything about the first time. I really don't. I mean,
that's how it goes, right? It's a big blur. It's like so exciting. You don't even remember it 5 minutes later.
Right. It was one of those deals where the night I made my Grand Ole Opry debut, they asked me, hey, what do you want to sing? And we had our first single out on the radio at that point was Jacob's Ladder. And so I went in and sang, and Mr. Acuff, Roy Acuff, always said, for people that were making their Opry debut, he had always said, sing the one that brought you. And so for me, there was no other song that I would have wanted to make my Grand Ole Opry debut with than my first single. Mm-hmm. So I went out there and sang Jacob's Ladder, and and it was over, and I was standing on the side of the stage, and I was like, have I even been out there yet?
Do that.
Right. I mean, it was crazy. Gosh. I mean, there's so many people. What's been cool is to be a member of the Opry and to be able to host people that are coming on to make their Opry debut. Mm-hmm. I've had the opportunity to really sort of stand back in the back with them in the dressing room and say, okay, now listen, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get, the nerves are going to get to you. You're going to be nervous. Just enjoy it. Just remember, fortunately in today's world, they videotape everything. I mean, every performance that goes across that stage is videoed. Mm-hmm. I don't even know that I have a video of my Opry debut. So that's what I always try to tell people. Just enjoy it. Go out there and remember that you're playing really and truly the most hallowed stage in all of country music. I mean, out of the 100 years of history that we've had, here we are, and and I'm one of the very few people that get to call that a home for the rest of my life. So just go out and enjoy it.
Amazing. Well, congratulations, by the way, on that. I know it happened a while ago, but it's still just amazing. It's been almost such an honor. Yeah,
it's been almost 2 years, but it is. I mean, when you think of the thousands of people who have recorded country music albums, and then the people that have toured and traveled around, the world singing country music, and then I look at my name as the 218th member of the Grand Ole Opry. Yeah, that's pretty huge. I mean, they're humongous. It is.
That's fantastic. And then I know there's like kind of a couple step process into how you get into the Opry, and something about maybe a well-known face, Mr. Vince Gill.
Yeah, I think I've got a tour thing of Vince right over here behind me. Yeah, Vince was hosting the show that night.
That's incredible.
And he just, I went out and sang my songs and got done singing, and he said, "Hey man, come out here and sing a song with me." And I said, sure. I mean, I love Vince Gill. I've been a
Oh
huge
my
Vince Gill
God.
fan.
No pressure.
Long. Yeah, no pressure
No
whatsoever.
pressure.
I,
Just come
I
out
took
here
my,
and rip it up a little bit.
yeah, I took my guitar off and my guy was standing there. He goes, you don't want your guitar? And I'm like, dude, I
Nope.
got Vince Gill playing guitar. I don't need my guitar. I'm good to go.
That's
And,
awesome.
and then I went out and he asked me to be, the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry. And I ugly cried.
Oh my God. So
I
you had no
mean,
idea.
no,
Oh
I
my
had
God.
no idea whatsoever. I mean, I think if I had known that it was going to be that night, I would have had my mom and dad there, and I would have
Yeah.
had my wife and my
Mm-hmm.
girls there. But, I live in Atlanta, and, and it was December 21st, and they're all doing December 21st of 2018, and they're all doing Christmas parties and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to go to Nashville and I'm going to sing the 21st and the 22nd, and then I'll come home and, and we'll do Christmas. And so my wife was like, absolutely. And so, yeah, I had no idea whatsoever when I walked into the Grand Ole Opry at the Ryman Auditorium that Friday night that I was going to be asked to be the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry. And that Saturday night when I performed as the newest, upcoming member, I don't even think I had slept. I was just like, I don't even drink. And I felt drunk. I was just exhausted. I went home and I went back to my buddy's house that has a place up there that I always stay when I'm traveling by myself. And I just laid there. I was like, did that really just happen?
That really just
Did it
happened.
really just happen?
Good thing your wife was cool enough to let you go so close to Christmas. I mean, you could have said, maybe I'll do it, come January, I'll get back to the Opry. Oh my God.
I'll tell you the story that goes around that and why I was there that night. So I mentioned a minute ago when we were talking about the people that we had lost this year, Jimmy Capps. Jimmy Capps played with the Louvin Brothers. He played on thousands, and I do mean thousands of records. Like he played acoustic guitar on every song that Ronnie Millsap, every number one song that Ronnie Millsap ever had.
Whew.
He played the intro to The Gambler for Kenny Rogers. I mean, it was, he's the guy that played on so many of those great early and all the way through the 80s hits into the 90s, even up until, the last couple of years, played on all those records. And so it had come to my attention that they were going to celebrate his 60th anniversary at the Grand Ole Opry. And Jimmy was one of those guys that, the very first time that I played the Opry, he was so welcoming. He was like, hey, thank you for coming out. Thank you for coming and being part of the show tonight,
That's awesome.
and I rehearsed with the Opry band, and he was like, hey man, is there anything that you want? Is it, he was kind of the band leader. And I was like, no, we're good to go. And that sort of began our friendship. And the funny thing is that, we, up until this past year, we traveled on cruises every year with the Larry's Country Diner folks or with the Country's Family Reunion folks or the Country Music Cruise or whatever. We would always travel. And every year there was a picture of he and I from every cruise of me kissing him on the cheek.
Oh my gosh.
Because he was old school. He was an old school guy. Guys didn't kiss each other on the cheek. And I would kiss him and his face would turn as red as my shirt. And so every year we would do a picture like that. And but
even
that's
when
why
he knew it was coming, he'd be ready.
Yes.
Red as your shirt.
Absolutely. He knew every year it was going to happen. But that's why I was at the Opry that night, was to celebrate 60 years of playing guitar on the Grand Ole Opry. And, and Marty Stewart and Vince Gill came out and they named the band room at the Opry House the Jimmy Capps band room, the Jimmy Capps music room.
Oh, how amazing.
And then 10 minutes later, the focus turns from being about Jimmy Capps to me being the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry. So it was a to me it was just such a special night. I was there not for anything for myself. I
Mhm.
was totally
He got you
there.
back. He kissed you on the cheek.
Yes, he
That
did.
night. Yes, he
There's a
did.
great picture. I'll have to share it with you. There's a great picture of when I'm on stage. Jimmy is on the side of the stage watching me, and they
Wow.
they took it from right behind Jimmy, and it's probably one of my favorite pictures.
That's
It's
amazing.
very special.
What a night. I mean, I feel like I was there.
Yeah, it's still unbelievable. I mean, it's still one of those things where when I talk about it and when when I relive that night in my mind, I still get cold chills. I
Mhm.
still am so proud to be able to refer to myself as a Grand Ole Opry member.
That's
I
amazing.
think for every country musician, for everybody that's ever released an album, I think they all, they say, I want a gold record, and I want a platinum record. Um, you know, and if they're looking down the road, they say, I'd love to be in the Hall of Fame. But to me, the predecessor to the one that to me is almost better than the Hall of Fame. That a lot of times you're in the Hall of Fame at the end of your career,
Mhm.
because of the things that you've accomplished throughout your career. Um, I will always say that being a Grand Ole Opry member is almost the equivalent of that, because you get to walk in whenever you want to and walk on that stage and sing the songs, as Mr. Acuff says, sing the one that brought you.
Yeah.
So it's pretty awesome.
I love that. That sounds like a song title to me. Sing the one that
It
brought
very
you.
well could be.
We should work on that.
Yes, we should. Maybe
Well,
we
I
should.
swear you're looking at my note sheet because you're just right. You're going right down the line. I was just going to ask you. You just mentioned any artist that's ever put out a record, looks to those things and those become big goals and aspirations. But what advice do you have for any new artist who's looking to put out their first record?
You know, I think we're in a different place in our world than we were when I started my career. When I started my career, um, I really kind of got to make the record that I wanted to make. And I think I think there's a, I don't want to say that, that people don't get to make the music they want to make right now. I say that there's two different sides of country music. There's the traditional side and there's the contemporary side. And I think a lot of people get pushed in either direction. I would say for any artist that's out there right now, and they're getting ready to start the process of recording a record. I would say make the music that you want to make, um, because there's so much of the new stuff out there right now that sounds the same. Um, you know, I would just say, be secure in who you are. You're going to have to sing this stuff. You're going to have to sing these songs for the rest of your career. And be sure that when you go in and you record the music that you're making, be sure that, that there's enough of your personal sound or your belief in those songs, because if they're a success, you could spend the next, 50 years of your life doing something that you hate. And that's nowhere for anybody to be. I mean, I've never recorded any song, uh, that I look back on and I go, that was the dumbest thing I ever
Why did
decided
I
to do.
do that? Yeah.
Right. I mean, you have to either love it or understand, going into it, that, hey, this is something that's going to be beneficial in the long run. And I was able to do that. I mean, I would take nothing for Jacob's Ladder. I would take nothing for I Do Cherish You, or Don't Laugh at Me, or Wish You Were Here, or, so many of those great songs that I was able to record throughout my career, because, I love those songs before I ever went into the studio and recorded them for an album.
Yeah.
So every night that I get on stage and sing those, we've joked about it, in a lot of interviews in the past, but we basically get to, I think my wife left her phone down here.
She just wanted to be part of the party.
She did. She very much did. And it's going to continue to ring because it's my daughter calling her and doesn't know.
She's going to call 7 times. That's how it works.
She's going to call 7 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
But those songs that, that we were able to record, those are, we joked about it, that we record the soundtrack to people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
We are able to put into people's lives that soundtrack. And, and I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world.
I love that. I'm getting ready to put out my first record myself. And that's definitely something in the very beginning, you start to think, okay, well, what's happening right now in music? What is everything sounding like? How are we going to compete with that? And then you just let all those things go. And once we really started to figure out my sound and, what I want to share for God knows how many years, hopefully forever.
Right.
That's when it really got fun. And it really started to feel like we were working towards a career and in making this a life. So I think that was beautiful advice.
It is one of those things that I will tell people, forever. Just make the music that you want to make. I think I stole this, or I think I heard this from an interview that Garth Brooks was doing. But he was doing this interview, and he was talking about when he recorded his first record that that he was trying to do something that sounded like George Strait. And Alan Reynolds, who was his producer, said, "Hey man, there's already a George Strait. I'm trying to record Garth Brooks." And and so I think that's what we have to do. I took so much of who I am, or so much of who I am as a musician, I took from Ronnie Millsap. I took from Alabama. I took from Conway Twitty. I took from Merle Haggard. I took from Kenny Rogers. And we could go on and on and on and on down the line. But ultimately, when I go in to record music, I need to record Mark Wills. I don't need to go in and try to be Travis Tritt on my record, or I don't need to go in and try to be somebody else. There's already a Travis Tritt. There's already a Garth Brooks. There was already a Ronnie Millsap and Steve Wariner and Keith Whitley and all these people. And so, when I look for songs, I look for songs that I feel like, oh, Keith Whitley would have killed this song, or Ronnie Millsap would tear this one up, or this would have been one of my favorite Alabama songs, but I have to put my voice on it. I have to go in and do it the way that I would do it. And
absolutely.
That's the thing for any new artist out there, is to just, make it your own, develop your sound and be comfortable with that.
I love it. Well, with all that being said, I'm ready to hear some Mark Wills. So
okay,
let's get this started. Can we hear some live music from you?
I will. I'll tell you what I'll do. I talked about Glenn Martin early on, and talked about Tony Martin, and I will play you the first song we ever had out was a great Tony Martin song, Jacob's Ladder. The second song, or the third song that we ever released was a Tony Martin song as well, and I don't get to play that one very often, like in these type of settings. Mm-hmm. So if it's okay with you, I will play one of my favorite songs that I don't get to play very often, and we'll go from there.
I would love it. All right, let's hear it.
All right. I've never seen the sunset in Montego Bay. My heart melts You look at me that way. And I've never seen the snow fall from a rocky mountain sky, but I get a chill by looking in your eyes. 'Cause you take me places that I've never been. I've traveled the world in your arms and back again. I have no need to wander or go chasing those four winds, 'cause you take me places I've never been. I may never see the wonders of this earth. I may never hold treasures of great worth. I could search the whole world over, but I don't have to go that far, 'cause I've got it all right here in my arms. 'Cause you take me places that I've never been. I've traveled the world in your arms and back again. I have no need to wander or go chasing those four winds, 'cause you take me places I've never been. 'Cause you take me places I've never been.
I know that it's just your home new studio here, and you have an audience of one looking at you. But everybody out here in Fired Up FIREDISC Nation is so happy for that little performance. Very special to hear you do it this way. That's amazing.
It's been something that for me for this year. I mean, I've never played by myself acoustic. I mean, I'm a drummer, so you know, when I pick up the guitar and start playing by myself, you know, I feel like I am out of my league. So
Fish out of water.
I feel like, yeah. So I feel like this year I've become a little bit better of a guitar player, but still I'm kind of like, you know, I get nervous. I'm like, I'm sweaty right now. I'm like,
I'm in the same boat, but you're a Grand Ole Opry member, so there's a little difference here. Oh my gosh.
Hey, listen, I think regardless of how any of this works for me or for you or anybody else, you know, the nerves kick in no matter where you are or who you are or anything else. So, you know, it's anytime the camera is on and I have to start, you know, playing, I'm like, you know, I feel like Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. You know,
I know. I try to think of them as excited jitters.
Yes.
You know, rather than nerves. Because then I'm like, okay, it's just, you know, it's just amping up the fire here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too funny. All right. So what are you going to play next for us? We're so excited to hear one more from you.
Well, I figured I would play one that was a little less known. And then I figured I would probably play you the biggest hit of my career. I figured I would, you know, a little bird.
A little
in my,
bird.
in my ear, little bird in my ear told me that you like 19 something.
Yes, it's
So I
my
figured I would
favorite.
do an acoustic version of that one for you guys.
Perfect. I'll be singing along over here. Let's hear
All
it.
right. All right. Saw Star Wars in these steak times, had the Pac-Man pattern memorized. I've seen the stuff they put inside. Stretch Armstrong, yeah. I was Roger Staubach in my backyard, had a shoebox full of baseball cards, a couple of Evel Knievel scars on my right arm. I was a kid when Elvis died, and my mama cried. It was 1970-something in the world that I grew up in. Farrah Fawcett hairdo days, bell bottoms and 8-track tapes. Looking back now, I can see me. Oh man, did I look cheesy. I wouldn't trade those days for nothing. It was 1970-something. It was a dawning of a new decade. We got our first microwave. Dad broke down and finally shaved the most sideburns off. I took the stickers off of my Rubik's Cube, watched MTV all afternoon. My first love was Daisy Duke and them cut off jeans. The space shuttle fell out of the sky, and the whole world cried. It was 1980-something in the world that I grew up in. Skating rinks and black Trans Ams, big hair and parachute pants. And looking back now, I can see me. Oh man, did I look cheesy. I wouldn't trade those days for nothing. It was 1980-something. I got a mortgage and an SUV, and all this responsibility makes me wish sometimes it was 1980-something in the world that I grew up in. Skating rinks and black Trans Ams, big hair and parachute pants. Looking back now, I can see me. Oh man, did I look cheesy. I wouldn't trade those days for nothing. It was 1980-something. 1970-something. Oh, it was 19-something.
Woohoo! Yes. Fantastic, amazing to hear it from you yourself. This is so cool. And I'm just the host, so I'm not supposed to be that excited over here, but I really, this is amazing. Thank you so much.
When we started the bunker stuff back in March, we did the first few weeks, by myself, just kind of screwing around here in the basement and doing stuff. And then I started having, other guests come on the show. And I had the Bellamy brothers come on the show, and I had
Nice.
Steve Warner come on the show, and I had some other, and I was kind of like you, I just sort of sat back. I sort of sat back when everything was going on, and I was like, just kind of like, kind of like the Grinch, sitting back there going, oh yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, this is great.
It's exactly. I mean, I am in awe anytime when you get to witness somebody else, you know, performing their craft. That's one of the coolest things in the world. That when I know we've talked a lot about the Opry, but when I go to the Opry, I stand on the side of the stage and I watch, Bobby Osborne, or I watch, Marty Stewart or Connie Smith or John Conley, Charlie Pride. I mean, I watch all those guys. I mean, some of my greatest memories are standing out there and visiting with Charlie Daniels right before, he went on stage, and, getting to hang right there and watch him do his deal.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some of my greatest memories. One of the last times that Mr. Pride was on the Opry, back in, I guess it was January of, I think he was on in January of this year, but like in November or something of last year, I got to host him. And, I got to introduce Charlie Pride on stage, and when he passed away, the other day, I had people sending me pictures,
Oh, wow.
of me like bringing him on stage at the Grand Ole Opry and shaking his hand, stuff like that. I mean, those are, so, anytime I get to be a spectator for that kind of stuff, it's a cool deal.
Yeah, when I was asked to host this show, I never realized how much I'd really be learning and getting to chat with, people I look up to so much. And of
Right.
course, we knew it'd be very cool for the viewers to hear these stories. But I am just, every time we do this, I've learned something new. And this has been so much fun and so awesome to talk with you today. And before we go, I just want to ask you about one more song. I heard a cool little story recently about a song called What Hurts the Most.
Yeah.
And, I know this tune from Rascal Flatts. I just did a
Right.
version of it. I got to sing it with Jay DeMarcus for an
Right.
amazing foundation event that we just did for This Time Tomorrow. And then this week, we're getting ready to do this Fired Up Live. And I see that you recorded this song first.
Yeah. Yeah, I recorded it first. It was kind of a neat coincidence. I mean, I have known Jay and Joe Don and Gary. I've known those guys since the beginning of their career, because my career started a few years, prior to theirs. And so I guess the way the story went was, I was at Mercury Records and I had recorded that song. I had recorded What Hurts the Most. And that was right about the time when I was leaving there, or when my departure was coming from Mercury. And I had talked to Gary, and Gary was like, "Man, this is such a great song." And I told him, I said, "Man, I'm not gonna let them put this out as a single, because I'm not
Wow.
gonna be there." So, and he's like, "Dude, this is a smash." And I said, "Yeah." And they went in and recorded it, and released it. And the funny thing was, and the weird thing about how all of the music business, how little things happen here and little things happen there. Um, I had the number one downloaded song off iTunes for like 8 or 9 weeks off of What Hurts the Most, because their version wasn't out yet. and
Oh, oh
uh
my
and so it
goodness.
was kind of a cool deal, but at the same time it was making the record label that I had just left, it was making
Yeah.
them money, and I was getting nothing out of it
No.
except for having the number one downloaded song on iTunes.
It's
And
okay
so,
though. You'll take that statistic.
yeah,
That's awesome.
absolutely, it
Oh
was all
my
good.
gosh. Wow. So you kind of knew then, since it was the number one downloaded song, that it was going to be such a hit.
Oh yeah, well, I have recorded songs in the past that, like, a prime example, preceding, what hurts the most, is I recorded a song called Somebody. And our record label was like, "Hey man, you want to put this out as a single?" And I was like, "No, I just don't think it's just not me."
Mhm.
And then Reba went in and recorded Somebody, and it was a multiple week number one for her.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so I've always prided myself on finding great songs and recording great songs, and whether they were a hit for me or not, I kind of pat myself on the back when, when somebody records a song that I recorded and it was a big, massive hit like that. And I go, told you,
Told you.
told you
I
that was a
told you
good one.
so.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. Oh my goodness. What a crazy thing. That song's just going to be living with me for a while, I guess. It keeps
Well, you did
coming
a great
back
job
around.
on it. I
Oh,
saw the
thank you.
video of you and Jay and the guys in the studio, and I didn't have the opportunity to tell you. So I'll tell you here. You guys did a great job of it. It sounded awesome.
Thank you so, so much. It was definitely an unforgettable event for me. I never thought I'd be singing that song with, members of the actual band and then talking
Right.
to the person who recorded it first in a month's time. So that's unbelievable. Well, thank you so, so much, Mark. Thank you for coming on tonight. Everybody in FIREDISC Nation is so, so happy to hear from you. And we can't wait to keep in touch. And best of
Absolutely.
luck out there getting back into the shows, crawling out of the basement. I know it's been comfortable, but you got to get back out there. We miss you.
Clothes. I'm not crazy about that, but other than that, I'm ready to get back out and go back to work. That's for sure.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Claudia. Appreciate it.
Bye. Wow. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. What an awesome guy. And you can be on the lookout for his brand new record that is set to release in 2021. And I'm probably going to be the first one in line to get it. So I hope you guys will follow me in doing that. And go check him out on all his social media. He's got Spotify and Apple Music too. And of course, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I'm sure, all the good stuff. So go follow Mark Wills and give him some love. Tell him that you saw this episode. That would be so cool. And I'm going to do one more song for you to wrap up tonight. I thought that after hearing some of his stories about the Opry tonight, the heartbreaking news this week of Charlie Pride's passing, he's going to be so missed and such a loved icon in country music. I thought I'd do Kiss an Angel Good Morning for you guys to wrap up tonight.
Whenever I chance to meet some old friends on the street, they wonder, how does a man get to feel this way? I always have a smile on my face, anytime or any place. And every time they ask me why, I just smile and say, you've got to kiss an angel good morning, and let her know you think about her when you're gone. Kiss an angel good morning, and love her like the devil when you get back home. Now people may try to guess the secret to my happiness, but some of them never learn it's a simple thing. The secret I'm speaking of is a woman and a man in love, and the answer is in this song that I always sing. You've got to kiss an angel good morning, and let her know you think about her when you're gone. Kiss an angel good morning, and love her like the devil when you get back home. Kiss an angel good morning, and let her know you think about her when you're gone. Kiss an angel good morning, and love her like the devil when you get back home.
That one's in memory of Mr. Charlie Pride tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Fired Up Live. There's going to be so much more music, chats, stories, and hopefully you're sitting home cooking while I'm singing up here. So lots more great, delicious FIREDISC cooking food to come. If you guys want to go over to FIREDISCcookers.com, you can check out all they've got, and this could fill your entire tree. Underneath, you need to fill up the space under the bottom. This FIREDISC could do it. And you can just use the code Claudia Hoyser at checkout, and you'll get a nice little discount. I've also got a FIREDISC coupon code at HoyserCountry.com if you would like to grab some coffee. I'd love you to throw some Hoyser Country Blend in your stocking this year. Give it as a gift. It's a great one. And it's just about time to wrap up this show. So make sure you post a comment below for a chance to win in our giveaway that's going on each episode, especially right now. So comment. Share if you enjoyed it. And make sure you show Mark Will some love. I'll talk to you next time. Fired Up Live. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
In today's world, time with family is more valuable than ever. Meet FIREDISC, the original portable propane cooker. It sets up in seconds, fires up fast, and cooks anything you throw at it. Whether it's a quick meal at home or in the great outdoors, FIREDISC has you covered. Take your kitchen outside and enjoy everything that makes good food great. FIREDISC, cooking at home made easy.